On the first day of school, students were assigned spirit beasts based on their grades. The top student, class president, didn't hesitate. She picked the SSS rank 9-tailed phoenix. And me? Dead last, I got stuck with a single S rank polar bear, but then the ice apocalypse hit. And because I'd bonded with my bear, I shared his innate skill, cold resistance. Meanwhile, the class president's 9-tailed fox never even got the chance to grow up, frozen to death on day 1. In the brutal cold, the class president teamed up with other students to ambush my bear and cooked hot pot right in front of my face. I was so devastated I coughed up blood and died on the spot. When I opened my eyes again, I was back. The day spirit beasts were being handed out. I was just about to grab my bear like last time when the class president suddenly screamed. She ran up to me clutching a little white fox pup and shoved it into my arms without a word. Then she reached into the box and picked up my lonely little polar bear. "The fox is yours, I want the bear." The whole class was shook. Even the homeroom teacher frowned. Because that white fox was literally the rarest pup in the whole batch, 80% ancient bloodline purity. Way stronger than a measly polar bear sitting at only 20% purity with a low-tier species ranking. The teacher pulled Liu Ruyan aside. Choosing your bonded beast isn't something to joke about. This affects your entire growth ceiling. Liu Ruyan bit her lip, eyes all big and dough-like, and said with a straight face, "Xiao Yu needs this fox way more than I do. My grades are good. I'll grow fast no matter what I bond with. But Xiao Yu's cultivation talent is average. If he's stuck with a bear this weak in bloodline, his whole life is over." The class erupted in applause. Even the homeroom teacher gave an approving nod. Liu Ruyan, the most important thing in cultivation is your moral core. You have a truly pure heart. Even if your beast isn't the best, your future is limitless. Then she turned and frowned at me. "Why are you just standing there? Go thank Liu Ruyan." I blinked a couple times and held the fox back out. "No thanks. I actually like the bear." Liu Ruyan's eyes flickered with panic as she pulled the bear closer. "Xiao Yu, you don't have to test me. I genuinely want to swap." I wasn't buying it. I got up in her face. "Give me back my bear." But before I could finish, something bit my right hand. I looked down. It was the little white fox. Bright red blood welled up from the bite wound. Then the fox stuck out its tongue and started licking my skin, all tingly. I had just been force bonded by a white fox. And not just any bond, a blood contract, life and death together. The class booed at me, some saying to give the fox back to Liu Ruyan, others scrambling to bond with their own beasts. After sealing the contract with me, the fox went dizzy and fell fast asleep in my arms. I sat there red-faced, listening to everyone talk trash. What they didn't know was, I actually couldn't stand this fox. After getting force bonded, I had no choice but to swallow my pride and slink back to my seat under everyone's side eyes. Only I knew that this so-called prized fox would become completely useless dead weight in just half a month. Actually, scratch that, not just me, Liu Ruyan knew too. The moment she gave up the fox and fought me for the bear, I knew. She'd been reborn, just like me. In our last life, Liu Ruyan took the fox and I got stuck with the bear nobody wanted. Then the ice apocalypse hit half a month later. The entire world plunged into absolute zero, negative 50 degrees. High bloodline beasts like the white fox need way longer to mature than low-tier ones. So when the apocalypse hit, she was still just a nursing cub and froze to death that very day. But my polar bear, raised with care, had already hit adolescence. At negative 50 degrees, the cold resistance we shared made me the most freeze-proof person in the entire apocalypse. Liu Ruyan lost it. She tried multiple times to lure my bear into breaking our bond and becoming her beast instead, but the bear refused every time. After getting rejected over and over, Liu Ruyan snapped. She spread the rumor that eating polar bear meat would give you cold resistance too. So on a supply run, she and a group of people ambushed me and my bear, killed us both, and used us as food. I stared at the bear with a heavy heart. We were so close in the last life, and now Liu Ruyan had just taken her from me. I could get over losing cold resistance. What I couldn't get over was thinking about my bear stuck with Liu Ruyan. Would she even get enough to eat? But then the bear slowly turned and looked right at me, eye contact. And that tiny little bear, barely bigger than a toy, blinked at me, twice. Not once, not 3 times, twice. My heart jumped. 2 blinks. That was our secret signal from the last life. It meant, "Don't worry, I got this." She was telling me she'd been reborn too. I looked at Liu Ruyan and silently wished her good luck. She was gonna need it. Just because a bear looks all sweet and gentle doesn't mean she actually is. My eyes met the bear's in a quick, silent exchange. Then something warm and soft clamped onto my fingertip. I looked down. Turns out my pretty but useless white fox had woken up. A voice rang out, high and haughty, but still with that baby softness. "Human?" I poked the little fox. "Are you actually talking?" She let out a disdainful huff and flopped over lazily in my arms. I thought, I shouldn't just call her White Fox. I should be calling her Your Majesty. "My name is Lin Wan, and yeah, you can call me Your Majesty if you want." I flicked her on the head. "Kid, who taught you to be this extra?" Up at the front, the teacher started explaining how to draw a bonding array. Most spirit beasts are naturally prideful, so humans typically have to initiate the bond themselves. I just sat there stunned. If I hadn't seen it myself, I never would have believed a high and mighty white fox just force-bonded me. "Lin Wan," I asked, "why did you bond with me on your own?" Lin Wan wrinkled her nose. "That girl reeks. Liu Ruyan was literally the school's most popular girl. Guys were always saying she smelled amazing. Lin Wan wasn't having it. That's because they're blind. They can't smell a rotten soul. I teased her. What about me then? She buried her face deeper into my chest, trying to play it cool. You're fine. Kind of sweet, actually. That's when it clicked. I finally got why Lin Wan force-bonded me. When you're a slice of cake about to get tossed in a dumpster, you run. When I got bored, I'd tug on her ears or poke her belly. Lin Wan got so fed up she teared up and turned away, completely done with me. Meanwhile, back in the classroom, Liu Ruyan finished drawing her bonding array first. A smug little smile crossed her face as she initiated the bond with my bear. The array wrapped around the bear and started spinning fast, but the bear quietly channeled her spiritual energy and made 2 tiny edits to the array. A regular equal rights bond silently became a master-servant contract, except the bear was the master, and Liu Ruyan was the servant. It was an array formation me and the bear had discovered together in some ruins during a training run, and now she was using it to trap Liu Ruyan. The second Liu Ruyan's bond succeeded, the bear shot me the smuggest look. I quietly slid my hand under the desk and gave her a big thumbs up. Never cross a quiet one. Suddenly, a petulant voice exploded in my ear. You're a bad human. How am I bad? I lazily pinched her squishy little cheek. You touched my tail, Lin Wan huffed, getting more and more worked up, then let out a dramatic little sigh. This little princess was absolutely unhinged when it came to jealousy. Once everyone finished bonding, the homeroom teacher handed out a cultivation resource pack to each student. I kept 1 piece for myself and fed the rest to Lin Wan as snacks. All 19 pieces, gone. Crunched through like potato chips. Before we even left the classroom, my entire supply was wiped out. Everyone stared at me like I'd lost my mind. Xiao Yu is insane. That was a week's worth of cultivation resources, all fed to a fox? Was he even paying attention in class? Spirit beasts grow slowly. You're not supposed to rush the feeding process. Wasn't that stuff meant for your own cultivation? That fox bonded with him for nothing. Even the teacher raised an eyebrow. Certain students take note, the monthly allotment is limited. Once it's gone, the school won't give you extra. I nodded obediently. Got it, teacher. Honestly, in my last life, I was already generous with the bear. Most students split resources 4.1 with their beast, but I always went 50-50. Partners share equally, I figured. But even then, I was never this generous with the bear. Not even close. So yeah, not just my classmates thought I'd lost it. I thought so too. Because I suddenly remembered, my bond with Lin Wan was a blood contract. With a regular equal bond, if one side dies, it doesn't affect the other. But a blood contract is different. You die together. If Lin Wan froze to death on day 1 of the apocalypse like she did last time, I go down with her. So yeah, keeping this little diva alive was now literally my top priority. The teacher dismissed us to cultivate on our own. I headed out with Lin Wan in my arms. As I passed Liu Ruyan, she stepped in front of me and dropped her voice so only I could hear, I know you've been reborn too. This time the bear and cold resistance are mine. I smiled. Then I hope you make it. Liu Ruyan's eyes glinted with satisfaction. With the bear, of course I will. As for you two, enjoy dying on day 1 of the freeze. Lin Wan lazily cracked one eye open from my arms, sized her up, then lifted her butt and let out a full-on stench bomb right at Liu Ruyan. Liu Ruyan's cool composure shattered instantly. She shrieked and stumbled back several steps. Fang Xiaoyu, what is wrong with you? Get that nasty fox away from me. I laughed, turned around, and walked off. Lin Wan was a bottomless pit. Finding a massive supply of snacks fast was now a real problem. I walked and thought, absent-mindedly pulling at her fur. Then it hit me. In my last life, right before the apocalypse, the media exposed a small spirit vein. Based on the timeline, nobody should have found it yet. I drove straight to the location with Lin Wan, only to find Liu Ruyan had already beat me there. She came from a rich, well-connected family. No way a nobody like me could compete with that. I stood on the outskirts, helplessly watching Liu Ruyan lead 20-something guys to mine the spirit vein. Lin Wan was curled up in my arms, watching the glowing spirit stones get pulled out one by one. She swallowed hard. I covered her eyes. Don't look, kid. These snacks are low quality anyway. I'll take you somewhere better. I walked away with Lin Wan, looking back every 3 steps, when suddenly a voice lit up in my head. Big Bro Fang, is that you? I stopped in my tracks. Little bear, you can telepathically communicate now? Liu Ruyan went all out on me, used a soul-awakening herb so I could send mental transmissions. Big Bro Fang, go find somewhere to rest with the fox for now. Once all the spirit stones are dug out, I'll call you back in for a private chat. I snapped back to reality, and found a massive, gorgeous fox face staring at me with pure suspicion. Warm breath hit my face, but instead of that wild fox musk, there was just a faint, clean scent I couldn't quite name. What are you doing? Lin Wan glared at me. Human. Watch your mouth, kid. Lin Wan sniffed, her voice edging toward pouty. I said it right, you've got bear energy all over your soul. I raised an eyebrow. This little fox's nose doesn't miss a thing. She kept going. When a white fox blood bonds with someone, that person becomes our lifelong partner. You can't have a thing with that bear. My face went slightly red. You're like a baby. Do you even know what a partner is? Lin Wan looked up at me with tears that refused to actually fall, then performed a full dramatic air swimming routine with her paws. I leaned my face toward her and made the most ridiculous face I could. A wet little snout pressed against my cheek, and before I could even react, the culprit yanked her head back. She whispered, "I kissed you, so you're mine now. Nobody else gets to kiss you here." I stood there frozen, mouth twitching. I just got played by a fox pup. I left the spirit vein to my bear, got back in the car with Lin Wan, and dozed off almost immediately. When I woke up, it was dark. We were out in the middle of nowhere, no lights, no sound, just pitch black forest all around. Then right at that moment, the bear sent a transmission. "Big Bro Fang, come quick, they're all gone," I called back. I looked down to find Lin Wan watching me with the most suspicious, accusatory stare. I felt guilty for no reason. "We weren't talking about anything weird," I said. Lin Wan turned away. "I'm not listening, I'm not talking to you today." Under the night sky, I carried Lin Wan and made my way toward the spirit vein. Just like the bear said, nobody was there. They'd only left behind a concealment array to hide the vein. Lin Wan was clearly curious about why I'd come here, but since she'd declared she wasn't talking to me, she stayed stubbornly pouty and kept it to herself. I paced around the array. A moment later, the bear deactivated it and poked her head out. "Big Bro Fang, come here." Lin Wan spotted the bear peeking out from my arms and immediately bared her teeth, shooting the bear the most vicious glare she could manage. I clamped a hand over Lin Wan's mouth and gave the bear an apologetic smile. "She's just a handful." The bear led the way cheerfully. "It's okay, Big Bro Fang. Don't be too hard on sis." With my hand still over her mouth, Lin Wan's voice exploded in my head instead. "Let go of me! I'm gonna bite her! I am biting her today!" "Xiao Yu, don't stop me. I'm still alive, you know. What kind of guy hides behind someone else? Let go! I'm going to end her!" I glanced at the bear's faint aura of spiritual energy radiating around her, then just let go, dropping Lin Wan right onto the ground. Lin Wan hit the ground and whipped around, staring at me in disbelief. She genuinely didn't think I'd actually let go. She charged at the bear at approximately 0.008 meters per second, looking back every third step. On the fourth glance back, she looked me dead in the eye. "You're not even gonna stop me?" I checked the bear's spiritual energy level. She'd been snacking all afternoon. Her aura was 50 times stronger than Lin Wan's, at minimum. Honestly, hard to say who'd be taking out who. I smiled at her. "Go ahead. If you take her out, I'll only have one person left in my heart." Lin Wan's paws fidgeted nervously. Part of her was tempted. But she glanced at the bear's aura, which screamed danger, and shuffled back over to my feet with a reluctant little sway. "Fine. You apologized nicely this time. I'll forgive you both for the flirting, but don't let it happen again." The bear split the spirit stones into 3 piles. One tiny pile for herself, one small pile, and one enormous mountain-sized pile. "Big Bro Fang, this is all I need." Lin Wan's eyes lit up like green flames staring at the giant pile. The bear pointed to the small pile. "That should be enough for your cultivation, Big Bro Fang," then pointed to the giant pile. "That's all for sis." "Wait, human, I don't think she likes you. I think she likes me." I flicked her on the forehead. "Your entire brain is romance. Everything's a love story with you." Lin Wan still looked unconvinced, until I said softly, "Still want those snacks?" She went quiet immediately. I turned to the bear with a worried look. "I just emptied this whole place. Will Liu Ruyan hurt you because of it?"